Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially the final day of the college football regular season. It has flown by. We are down to our final matchups for week 14. We're going to quickly go over all the games, predict the winners and losers for the games coming up today. We already had 6 top 25 games yesterday, and I'm actually pretty sure we hit them all exactly correct on the head, including the Aggies going down to the Longhorns. We had the Longhorns winning that one. No surprises to us there. Let's try to keep that momentum going. Let's try to get all of our Saturday games down as well. We have 13 or 14 top 25 games. That's what we're going to be focusing on here, trying to predict the winners and losers on these games. And let's also try to predict the final score. And of course, you know it, we're going to take a look at the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. But before we even get started with the Saturday games, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. What's your favorite game today? What's your final score predictions on the biggest matchups? Leave it in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. And unfortunately, let's take a look at our final week's games.
And we have one of the biggest rivalries in college football history coming up next. Some might say this is the best college football rivalry coming up Saturday, November 29th, 12 p.m. The defending national champion to the number 15, the 9-2 Michigan Wolverines, slowly climbing their way up the top 25. Be the champs. You got to beat the champs. They are cruising right now. The offense is rolling. Sayan's comfortable. He's gotten more and more comfortable in this scheme. Every single week, you have the running game. They have to concentrate on that ground attack. If they can get that going, that's going to open up the play action. Probably the most talented, deepest wide receiver core in the nation. Smith, Tate, Ennis. The big news, though, are you going to have Jeremiah Smith? Are you going to have Tate this game? Are you going to need them? You had the number 1 defense last season. They have the number 1 defense again this season. This defense might actually be even better than the one last year. It is crazy stuff. Ryan Day, he has the Buckeyes rolling right now. Patricia, Hartline, they're cruising on all cylinders, but they always hit a roadblock every single year. They won the national championship last season, and still, they lost for the 4th straight year to the number 18, the 9-2 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan knows how to beat the Buckeyes. Michigan could have no wins right now, and you cannot overlook this game because when you have a national championship Buckeyes team, they still dropped this game, final regular season game last year, so anything can happen in this game. Take the records, throw them out of the window. Michigan, 21.8% chance to win. The Buckeyes, 78.2 heavy fan favorites. Buckeyes are 10-point favorites. That's a huge spread for a rivalry game. 44.5 over-under, but they have the playmakers here. What is Michigan's rushing attack going to look like? They want to concentrate on Marshall, but you also have to account for the freshman Underwood. He's not a dual-threat quarterback, but if the first down's there, he will take off, he will scramble, he will pick up the first down. The biggest weakness for Michigan, they don't have a lot of skill position players at the wide receiver position. That kind of puts the quarterback in a tough situation. That Buckeyes defensive 7 is so good. If they take away the Michigan rushing attack, that's the primary way that Michigan can beat you is running the ball. You're not going to be able to out-muscle the Buckeyes and vice versa. These are 2 line of scrimmage trench warfare football teams. They both want to own the line. Who's going to come out on top? Buckeyes have been doing it every single game this season, but Michigan wants to end that here. Ohio State, 37.9 points a game. They're efficient. 270 passing yards, 170 rushing yards. Check out the defense. Only giving up 7.6 points per game. Crazy numbers. Only 126.6 through the air. Caleb Downs in that secondary, locking things down. Bryce Underwood, he's going to have a tough game pushing the ball down the field. They're going to have success running. But the Buckeyes are only giving up 80.0 on the ground. Elite front 7. Michigan, 29.3 points a game, throwing for 197, running for 224, a run-heavy team running right into the strength of this Buckeyes team, which is that defensive front 7, and they're giving up 17.9. Sharon Moore's team, very good defense, great rushing attack, but who's going to own the line of scrimmage? Who's going to be able to force the other team to play their style of bully football because they both want to attack you the same way, the ground and pound, and have that open up the passing attack. But if you have Jeremiah Smith, if you have Tate show up this game, I'm going Buckeyes. I think it's really close, might even be tied at halftime, but Ohio State pulls away late third, fourth quarter. They win 28-16. ESPN, 12 p.m., number 5, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 10-1. Who would have ever thought that Texas Tech would be a line of scrimmage football team? But that's what they are this season. They can line up with anyone in the country right now. That defense is top 10, top 5 in the nation currently, and they have a really good offense. They can throw, they can run, they have a great front seven, the number 1 transfer portal class coming in. They're on the road versus the 4-7 West Virginia Mountaineers. Rich Rodriguez would love nothing more than to upset the Red Raiders here. West Virginia, 8.5% chance to win. Texas Tech, 91.5. Red Raiders, 23.5 point favorites, 53.5 over-under. You have Morton. Texas Tech, they've been concentrating on that red zone offense that makes them even more deadly. 2,200 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 picks. Dickey's closing in on 1,000 on the ground. Red Raiders, 42.6 points a game, throwing for 288, running for 194. But it's the defense, only giving up 12.3 points per game. That's top 5 in the country. Only 71.8 yards on the ground. This entire season, they've had a top 3 rush defense, not in the Big 12, in the entire nation. West Virginia, 23.7 points a game, giving up 29.2. I don't think they have any chance. Texas Tech, they've been covering spreads left and right. They win this one 44-20. Our next game is one of the best games of the weekend because it's a ranked v. ranked matchup. 12 p.m. on ABC. Number 13, the Miami Hurricanes, 9-2. This is a game Miami has no options. They have to win it. They still have a shot, probably not to get an ACC. They could get that. They need some chaos on Saturday, but they can get an at-large spot. I've been very clear about this the last couple weeks. Miami should be ranked a whole lot closer to Notre Dame. The head-to-head has to matter. As long as you have the same record, the very next thing everyone looks at is head-to-head matchups. And they have the head-to-head versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Like it or not, it is what it is. They won on the field. Number 12, the Miami Hurricanes. Going up against, obviously, welcome to the top 25. Welcome back to the top 25. Number 22, the Pitt Panthers. Pitt's coming off of beating the crap out of Georgia Tech. No surprises there. We did pick them to pull off the upset, so things went the way we thought they would. Miami, 70% chance to win. The Panthers, 30% chance. The Hurricanes are 6.5 point favorites, 51.5 over-under. Since that loss to SMU, Carson Beck has been on point. He has like 11 touchdowns, no picks. Overall, closing on a 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 picks. You have Fletcher. It's what Pringles brought to the offense. They've been putting in more and more complete offensive performances. Malachi Toney, he's the best freshman in the entire country. Keelan Marion stepped up. They're going to be getting C.J. Daniels back potentially this weekend. On the other side, though, do not underestimate this Panthers offense. They can move the ball, especially through the air. Heinchel's throwing the ball up and down, filling in. He's only been the starter for a couple games, 1,900 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 picks. What worries me about the Panthers? They don't have the best offensive line. Miami might have the best pass rushing duo in the entire nation. Some say the best pass rush overall in the entire country. Mesidor, Ruben Bain, they're going to be coming after him, pinning their ears back. Miami, 33.7 points a game, throwing for 276, running for 151, only giving up 14.5 points per game. Number 8 defense in the entire country. Panthers, 37.6 points a game, throwing for 282, running for 125, 23.7 points per game. Both teams overall really good rush defenses. Miami's secondary a little banged up right now. There's so much riding on this game. Narduzzi made it very clear they didn't need the Notre Dame game. They needed this game. This is what can get them to the ACC championship. Miami, they win this game, they wrap up the regular season with a potential top 25 win, and the naysayers won't have anything else to say. They'll have to move them into that at-large spot. Give me Miami eking the win out, 28-23. 1 p.m. ESPN 2, 5 and 6, the UCF Knights. Scott Frost here looking to get back to bowl eligibility on the road versus number 11, BYU 10 and 1. BYU coming off a very close win for Cincinnati, but Cincinnati was a solid team. They were healthy. BYU beat them on the road. One thing the Cougars have shown, this is a line of scrimmage football team. Yes, they don't have an offense that's going to score a buttload of points, but they're physical. They attack you. They ground and pound. They win in the third and fourth quarter. When it's money time, they'd love to get to the Big 12 championship and potentially get a shot at that rematch versus Texas Tech. BYU 93.6% chance to win. UCF 6.4. Cougars 17.5 point favorites. 47.5 over-under. So much going to come down to Bear Bachmeier. He's doing everything. He's a true freshman quarterback. 2,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Very hard to bring down. But we all know it's all about Martin. Martin's closing in on 1,200 yards on the ground. UCF 24.6 points a game, throwing for 218, running for 169, giving up 22 a game. BYU, one of the more complete teams, one of the most balanced offenses in the nation. 33.4 points a game, throwing for 213, running for 202. Solid rushing attack, top 15 in the country, only giving up 17.5 points per game. They have the offense. They control time of possession. They run the ball. They have a very good defense. BYU wins this one 28-17. One of our old Pac-12 rivalry games, 3:30 p.m. CBS. Number 7, the Oregon Ducks, 10-1. Coming off that win versus USC, they're riding high right now. Everything is in front of them to make the playoffs. They just have to handle business. They'll be on the road versus 8-3 Washington Huskies. Washington, very difficult place for the road team to play, and these are old foes out of the Pac-12. This is a rivalry game. Bordering states, Washington would love nothing more than to give the Ducks a last-minute loss to end the season. Huskies 24.9 points a game. Jedd Fisch has this offense rolling, and they play solid defense. Oregon, 75.1% chance to win. Dan Lanning, he's been recruiting well. Top 10 overall roster, recruiting, portal, doing everything they need to do to put together a very competitive roster. This team is built on the offensive, defensive lines from the inside out. They can line up with anyone in the country, run it right at you. One of the best rushing attacks in the nation, top 3 overall. Some say the best offensive line in the country. Oregon 6.5 points a game, giving up 52.5. And they have a 3-headed monster at the running back position, led by Dante Moore, the quarterback, 2,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 picks. Sadiq is just unstoppable at the tight end. They've been banged up at wide receiver. As long as they get these guys back by playoff time, they're a team that could easily compete and win the national championship. On the other side, Williams Jr., he's a little bit of everything for Washington. 2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. Oregon's averaging 39.3 points a game, top 15 offense. Throwing for 243, running for 229, perfect balance. Only giving up 14.9 points a game, top 10 in the country. Washington, 36.5 points a game. Throwing for 257, running for 170. They're also a balanced attack, giving up 18.8. It's not top 10, but it's top 20. That's definitely good enough. And they're at home. To me, this game's very close first half. Ducks pull away second half. They win 33-20. Moving back over to the SEC, 3:30 p.m. on ABC. 7-4 LSU Tigers. Brian Kelly has been fired. The Tigers, top 10 overall roster, they cannot score points to save their life. And unfortunately for them, they're wrapping up the regular season versus the number 1 defense in the SEC, the 9-2 Oklahoma Sooners, number 8 in the country. Oklahoma, if you handle business here, you get an at-large spot, you make the playoffs. If you drop this one, finish 9-3, you might get booted out of that top 12, so there's zero room for error. But LSU, they would love to rally here, get some type of momentum leading up to the bowl game, but that's going to be a very hard mountain to climb. Oklahoma 10-point favorites, 37.5 over-under. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Both these teams have great defenses. Both these teams have virtually no offense at all. John Mateer, at first it was his hand, but when you watch the last game, he was missing wide open receivers. This offense is just not a good offense right now, but their defense, that defensive front seven, they get after it, and they're winning old school style football, backyard football, but it's working so far. Props to them. Props to Brent Venables. LSU, Nussmeier, this team can't throw it. They can run it. They're averaging 22.6 points a game. The worst offense in the SEC, one of the worst in the country. Throwing for 237, only running for 108. That's not going to cut it. Giving up 18.5 points a game. Their defense is keeping them competitive. That defense, at least they know they can bring it with them on the road here. Oklahoma, 27.3 points a game, throwing for 222, running for 128, giving up 14 points a game. That's the number 5 defense in the country. They get after it, and they are fired up right now. They are not sleeping on this game. They have their eyes on the playoffs. They know they have to win it, and no matter what, they're going to be getting non-stop, consistent pressure on the quarterback, creating turnovers, giving them good field position. They win this one 27-14. Staying in the SEC, ESPN, 3:30 p.m. Number 14, the Vanderbilt Commodores 9-2. I will say this about Vandy. Their only ranked win currently is versus Missouri. Missouri's going to be getting booted out of the top 25. Yes, they're in the SEC. No ranked wins currently. When you're looking at teams like Miami, BYU, at least they have a ranked win in their name. They're on the road versus number 19, the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, their defense is atrocious, but their offense is top 5 in the country. They can score with anyone. Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds, but do not underestimate the Commodores here. Pavia, my biggest issue there is he's like 75% of this team's offense. If you stop Pavia, you stop the Commodores, but obviously so far this season, that's easier said than done. Vandy, 42.4% chance to win. Tennessee, 57.6%. The Vols, 2.5-point favorites, 65.5 over-under. Vegas sees a buttload of points being scored. Pavia, 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 picks. They'd love to keep him in the Heisman conversation here. Almost 700 rushing, 8 rushing touchdowns. On the other side, Joey Aguilar, he was on this team like a week. Week 1 started. They've never looked back. 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. You have Bishop, Brazel, massive, tall wide receiver core. Vandy 38.9 points a game, throwing for 284, running for 174, giving up 21.7. Tennessee 42.3 points a game, throwing for 308, running for 183. No matter who they've played, they've been able to move the ball at will and score points. It's just they can't stop anyone. The Commodores are going to get their points. Volunteers, at least they had a good fight versus Florida last week. They're giving up 27.3 points a game. I'm going to ride with Josh Heupel. To me, this offense, it's unstoppable. I don't trust the Vandy defense. Tennessee, but I don't trust the Tennessee defense either. Tennessee wins this one 37-30. Rivalry week continues, 7 p.m. ESPN, 3-8 Virginia Tech. Yes, their coach has been fired. You have James Franklin. He's probably going to be there at this game on the road. On the road versus number 18, the Virginia Cavaliers, sitting at 9-2. Virginia, if they handle business here, they will be in the ACC championship with a shot at the playoffs. Give them some props. They have an 80.1% chance to win. Virginia Tech 19.9. Virginia Tech actually didn't play too bad of a game versus Miami. They were able to run the ball. They are kind of running like a little bit of a triple option offense right now. They're 10.5 point underdogs. Cavaliers 10.5 point favorites. 52.5 over-under. Kyle Jones, 19-yard passing, 16 touchdowns, 7 picks. But if they're going to beat you, it's going to be time of possession, running the ball nonstop. Their goal, rush for over 200 here. Control the pace of the game. Keep the ball away from Morrison, that Virginia offense's hands. Virginia Tech, 22.7 points a game. Throwing for 174, running for 188, giving up 30.5 points per game. On the other side, Virginia, very capable offense, 33.7 points a game. They have the veteran Morris. Taylor closing in on 1,000 yards himself, throwing for 250, running for 188, giving up 21.2. This is a rivalry game. Virginia Tech, they just want to win here. They want to impress Franklin. And Virginia, keep your eyes on the prize here, getting the ACC championship. Cavaliers win this one 31-23. And how about the old Iron Bowl coming up next? This is going to be a fun game. It's one of the top rivalries in college football. 7:30 p.m. ABC. Number 10, the Alabama Crimson Tide, 9-2. They cannot afford to lose this game. If they lose this one, they are out of the playoffs. That would put so much heat on Kalen DeBoer. They're going up against 5-6 Auburn. Auburn, if they win this one, yes, their coach has been fired, but this is a chance for some pride here. They would be fine winning 5 games if it lets them beat Alabama and knock the Crimson Tide out of the playoffs. They've almost had a shot the last couple seasons. They've not been able to close it out at the end of the fourth quarter. Maybe this is finally the year they get over the hump. And on top of that, they get that little side prize of kicking the Crimson Tide out of the playoffs. Right now, Auburn, 26.5% chance to win. Bama, 73.5. Alabama, 5.5 point favorites, which is actually a really close spread here versus a 5-6 Auburn team. Just lets you know how much Vegas is respecting Auburn. The over-under, 47.5. Ty Simpson has to play better. 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks. But I've been saying the entire year, Alabama's biggest issue, they cannot consistently run the ball, especially versus Power 4 teams. Miller only 410 on the ground. If you beat Auburn in the playoffs, if you run like you've been running the last 2 months, you're only going to have 1 round and you're going to get sent home. They have Bernard. They have Ryan Williams, a top 5 overall roster. Some might say the number 1 roster in the nation. They definitely have talent here. Auburn, 27.4 points a game. Jackson Arnold didn't get the start. You had Deuce Knight starting last game. He actually looked pretty good. He's a true freshman, though. Can you expect a true freshman to go up against Alabama and win them and kick them out of the playoffs? That'd be quite the story. But you know what happens when you play at Jordan Hare? Crazy things happen, so expect the unexpected. Auburn's throwing for 192, running for 179, giving up 20.1 points a game. Their defense can keep them in this game. They're only giving up 94 on the ground. Bama doesn't run the ball well anyways. If they can make Alabama one-dimensional, as they naturally are, force them into third and long situations at home, maybe they have a shot to pull off the upset. Crimson Tide, 33.8 points a game. Throwing for 293, running for 123, giving up 16.2. They also have that good defense. They can bring it on the road. Auburn showed their fight. Think back to that Aggies game. They can bring their A game. They can upset a playoff caliber team. But can they do it here versus a freshman? I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be a 1-possession game down to that final drive. I think Bama scores either a touchdown or a field goal within the final minutes to make it a 2-possession game. They win it 27-17. But keep your eye on this one. 7:30 p.m. on NBC, the 3-8 UCLA Bruins on the road versus number 17, the USC Trojans. If you want to call it on the road, because it's technically not. But playing number 15, the USC Trojans, 8-3, coming off that loss this past weekend to the Oregon. As bad as the loss was, The game was within reach. They actually could have won that game. Sloppy performance. The running game wasn't working. They could not stop the Ducks from rushing the ball. But obviously, that's Oregon's specialty. But the Trojans, they actually had a chance to make it a win. They didn't get it. Lincoln Riley under pressure. But no matter what, if they finish the season 9-3, that's still higher than what they were expected to last year. With the number 1 recruiting class coming in, guys, everyone calm down. The future's bright. No one had USC going to the playoffs this season. But when they didn't make the playoffs, now everyone's mad. Look at your preseason predictions. You never had them there anyways. They played above what they were supposed to. Give them a chance. They're going to be more competitive next season overall. Trojans, 95% chance to win. Bruins, 5% chance. USC, 21.5-point favorites. Huge spread. 59.5 over-under. Will Nico be playing this game? That's a big question there. But it's not like he's really having a great season anyways. USC, Mayava, 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks. You have Miller. You have Lemon. Lane might be the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the entire nation. Bruins 18.9 a game, giving up 33.8. Their offense isn't good. Their defense is even worse. USC 37.2 points a game, throwing for 301, running for 178, giving up 23.5 points a game. The biggest question is, where's their headspace here? How do they rebound off that loss to Oregon? As long as they stay focused, you know Lincoln Riley's going to have that offense ready to go. USC wins this one 38-20. 7:30 p.m. ESPNU, 1-10 Charlotte coming off of losing that game to Georgia. Charlotte hasn't scored over 20 points in like 6 or 7 straight games on the road versus number 24, Tulane. This team is focused right now. Summerall has his team playing. Retzlaff, the transfer portal quarterback, he can throw it, he can run it. They have an adaptable, multiple offense. 96.9% chance to win. Charlotte 3.1. Tulane's 29.5-point favorites, 53 over-under. Don't forget what Tulane is looking at here. Being the group of 5 representative potentially in the playoffs, as long as they handle business, win this game, win their conference, they might be one of the highest ranked conference champions in the country. If you're in the top 5 champs, you get a shot in the playoffs. Charlotte 15.6 points a game, giving up 37.2, almost 3 times the amount they score. That's how bad this team is. Tulane, you gotta beat them. 28.8 points a game, giving up 24.8. I don't think the game's close at all, but give me Charlotte at least scoring a couple points. Tulane wins this one 34-14. And at 8 p.m. on ESPN2, welcome back to the top 25. Might be one of the front runners, Vegas-wise, to win the ACC and make the playoffs back-to-back seasons. Number 21, 8-3 SMU Mustangs. Rhett Lashley has this offense firing on all cylinders. They're starting to play really good defense. They're on the road versus 6-5 Cal. Cal, obviously, they've had some coaching issues going on right now. SMU, 85.5% chance to win. Cal, 14.5% chance. The Mustangs, 13.5-point favorites, 53.5 over-under. So much of this game, you have Jennings has really stepped things up the last couple games. 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks. He's a dual threat quarterback. Hasn't been running too much this season. He's been letting his arm do all the work for him, but the legs are there. If you flush him out of that pocket, be aware he can take off. He can scramble. He can take off in that first down. TJ Harden, Hudson, Brinson, a lot of weapons on this team. They've been working the transfer portal. SMU 32.7 points a game. Throwing for 287, running for 127, only giving up 19.1 per game. Really good rush defense, actually. Secondary, a lot of issues, giving up about 281 through the air, but they're shutting down the run, only giving up 104.5. Cal, they've showed some promise this season. They've showed some bad games. Young freshman quarterback actually playing pretty good, but there's no consistency here. Only 23.6 points a game. Throwing for 266, running for 72.4. They can't run the ball. SMU already shuts down the run. That is a bad mix right there. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. A lot of third and long situations might be kind of iffy, and they're giving up 25.7 points per game. Give me the Mustangs finishing the regular season with 9 wins, and they win this one 32-20. So I had them getting the W, but I'll go with that plus 13.5, and we're just ever so slightly going with the under. 10:30 p.m. ESPN, number 9. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 9-2. They're on a 9-game winning streak right now. They have a chance to close out 10-2, stamp their ticket for the playoffs on the road versus 4-7 Stanford. The Irish, 95.5% chance to win. Stanford, 4.5. Notre Dame's 32.5-point favorites, 51 over-under, coming off of a 70 burger versus Syracuse, where they won that one 70-7. Crazy stuff. The best 1-2 running back combo in the nation. Price Love, 17 rushing touchdowns. They're going to get him touches here. They want to send him to New York for the Heisman. CJ Carr, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks, 2,600 yards. The Irish, 41.4 points a game, throwing for 248, running for 205, giving up 17.4 points per game. Their physicality, no one wants to play this team right now, but let's call things like they are. they haven't had the most difficult schedule after that Aggies game. Yes, they beat the Trojans, they beat Pitt, but if Pitt loses this weekend, they're not going to finish the season ranked either, so they still only have one top 25 win potentially to their name, but there's no doubt this team is talented. Right here, there's the chance for Stanford to pull off the biggest upset of the season, but that's highly, highly unlikely. They're only averaging 18.7 points a game, throwing for 222, running for 83.5. That's not going to cut it versus this physical Notre Dame team, and they're giving up 27.4. Like I said, the Irish, 41.4 points a game, throwing for 248, running for 205, only giving up 17.4. That first 34 weeks, they were giving up a lot of points. Since then, they've been shutting people down. They finished last season number 3 overall defense, and since about week 4, they've been playing like that again this year. Give me the Irish curb stomping their way through this game, but get those starters out as soon as you get a good lead. Get them out. You're going to make the playoffs. Be ready for the playoff round. Notre Dame wins this one 42-17.
So guys, that's all the games we have coming up for our final day, not even the final week, the final day of the college football season for the regular season. But don't worry, there's a lot more games in store. We have the conference games. We have the bowl games. We have the playoffs. There's a lot still for college football fans. And of course, we're still in the middle of NFL season. No matter what, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments down below. What's your favorite game? What's your score prediction? Leave it in the comment section. I do respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching.